Feel that the energy in the room has changed? So, necessarily because this is a talk, it's not going to be your full experience of meditation. I just tried to cover a few methods that you could use to calm yourself and practice meditation. The paper that I gave out to you is about brain balance. It's very important to have your brain balance between the right and left. So the crossover exercises are physically crossing over arms and legs. Very good for your brain. If you notice when a baby crawls, it's a very important part of their brain development. If they don't crawl before they walk, they won't be balanced. So eye movements also. If everybody knows what the infinity symbol is, if you're feeling a little scattered and you want to calm yourself and get your right and brain left working in harmony, take your finger, it's a figure 8, and with your eyes, follow the figure 8, the infinity symbol, with your eyes. It's not like a head movement exercise, it's an eye movement exercise. And this will also help you to balance your right and left brain. So, maybe people don't want to hear this, but exercising is very good for your brain. Exercising to sweat, because brain health and body health go together. If you didn't know that, just look at brain disease and what it does to the body. Dementia, Alzheimer's. We cannot ignore one or the other. We need balance in every aspect of our lives. Mind, body, spirit. Sleep. Oh, stress reduction. Well, meditation is very good for stress reduction, and we all need that. And we all know the coping mechanisms that our society has to reduce stress are not very healthy. They have drawbacks. I don't have to go into that for you to know. Sleep, proper rest is very important. If you find you're trying to meditate and you fall asleep, just look at your sleeping habits. And even if you have insomnia, it's a good way to get yourself calmed down before sleep is to try to meditate. It can put you to sleep, and that's a good thing in that case. So, the other thing, single focused tasking. You can read about this, but the brain can only light up one area at a time. If you're multitasking, and some of us are very good at it, I admit, but we're only as good as our focus. And if you're a little scattered and trying to concentrate on two or three things at a time, something is suffering. So I know in our working lives we do have to multitask at times, but in our personal lives we'd be fewer lost phones and lost keys and everything else if we tried single focus tasking. And I just want to finish at the end of my talk. 5 things that are really important for your brain. Switching between left and right. You can do things with your non-dominant hand. That will make new pathways in your brain. It only takes 10 seconds for a thought, a focused thought, for 10 seconds will create a new pathway in your brain. A new habit can be created in 21 days. So, and of course the sweating exercise thing, it works. It works better than what we call those depression medications. Way better. That and nutrition together are way better than any medication for depression. Sleep is irreplaceable to repair your cells. Do not deprive yourself of sleep. And stress reduction, and I mentioned that. So does anybody have any questions? Thank you.
I have a question.
Have you done any personal usage of meditation combined with day-to-day business activities? So, for example, before you go to a meeting and do line meditation, or before you go to sleep at night, submitting your goals, get the conscious before you fall asleep.
Yes, yes. And I couldn't get into it in this venue, but in the midbrain is where you want to put your creative ideas for manifestation. How it can apply to your business life. For example, a balanced brain and a relaxed person is going to do better and be more successful and be more focused, I have to tell you, I've never talked to a group this size before in my life. I wouldn't have imagined doing this without meditation. And the vowel sounds that I spoke of, the ah, o, they have done EKG studies where they light up the vowels light up certain parts of the brain. That's how they know the sound lights up the midbrain. So this is how I've been able to incorporate it into my life. When I'm driving and I want to focus my mind in a relaxing way, and I still want to be aware because I'm driving, I do the sound. I do the and I find myself humming while I'm doing tasks now. And I find that repetition, tasks that require repetition that I might think of as boring, if I focus on my breathing and I do some tones, it will bring a meditative aspect to that task. Sorry, someone else had a question. Okay. Avi, you have to keep me correct on time because I didn't pay attention.
No worries.
Thank you very much for your presentation. I'm enjoying it and learning a lot from it. Appreciate it.
Thank you.
When you meditate in a specific way that has worked really well for you, and so would you share with us?
Yes. I have done TM, I've done Vipassana, I've done meditation silent meditation for 10 days. I've been deep into it, but my life doesn't allow me to be that much now. So I can't afford 1 hour in the morning, 1 hour at night like I used to do. But I have pathways in my brain now from the practice, so I can meditate 20 minutes anywhere and completely transform how I feel. I can use toning. Sounds are very important. They're just beginning to know how sound is very important. If you're going to a meeting and you're stressed that you're behind time and you're rushed, do 3 ohms. That's balancing your brain. Anybody can do that. Thank you. I hope your question requires a fuller answer than I can give you right
That's what
now.
you can do a one-on-one sometimes.
Okay, thank you.
I recently learned how to meditate using music, and I was wondering what your thoughts are on that. I love it. I don't do it religiously, though, that's the thing, but I love listening to the kind of music that was recommended for it, and I just listen to the music and I focus on first on my heart and then on my third eye.
Yes.
And then the music kind of keeps you, because you'll hear the music and it brings you to awareness, but I also wonder if not having the silence there when you're using the music defeats the purpose of the meditation.
Well, I started with music, and now I don't meditate with music because I really want to focus on what I want to create in my mind. But if your brain associates music with relaxation, it will help you. And then you can choose where to move on from there. Whatever it takes to get you in that relaxation state. Then you can learn many different types of meditation that are more creative and have different purposes. Meditating in the heart has a hugely different effect on the mind, body, spirit than meditating in the brain. And I chose to focus on the brain because this is quite a left brain thinking group, I would think. And many of you want to manifest greater success for yourselves. And that's the place to manifest from. Thank you. You're welcome.
Sorry, you made reference to the different sounds of the and such. And can you repeat, please, the relationship between that and part of the brain?
It's actually ow. It's the ah sound first. The ah actually corresponds to the heart, which is an even bigger field, quantum field than the brain. So the ah activates your left brain. The o activates your right brain. And the sound activates the midbrain. Did anybody hear about the neuroscientist who is in a coma and wrote a book?
Eben Alexander.
Yes. He spoke of the divine as being a sound. And they purport that he survived in the midbrain, and that's where he was during all that time in his coma. And he's back at work, better than ever. I haven't read the book yet.
You need to read the book.
I do.
I know.
I do need to read the
I
book.
know it. I know Evan, and there's a lot more to it.
Oh, I'm sure there is. I'm not
What's
an
the title of the
expert.
book?
Just let me say, I'm not an
Proof
expert.
of, it's a
I'm
terrible
just
title.
passionate about
Not
it.
his title. Proof of Heaven.
Yeah, it's called Proof of Heaven.
Proof of Heaven.
A great book. Even though I haven't read it, I know it is.
Evan Alexander. It's been
Evan
on the bestseller
Alexander.
list for a while. Yeah.
Yeah.
Proof of heaven.
Proof of Heaven. He was an atheiist before he had this experience.
Right.
How does this work if you're ambidextrous? Unnaturally with one hand, say, but naturally with the other, but you use the unnatural hand more so?
As long, he's asking about if you're ambidextrous. I honestly don't know the answer to that question. I'm guessing that if you're ambidextrous, you have a more balanced brain. You can use either or. So I think you're already at an advantage. But when you have a dominant hand, it does really help. People coming back from strokes, they ask them to use the non-dominant hand so they can develop a balance. Okay.
Heather, is there any different, I mean, is there a certain key that you're supposed to own in?
No. Whatever it feels good to you. Whatever feels good to you.
Last question.
Last question. Thank you, it really helped. I just started meditating a couple months ago, and this was very helpful. My question is with kids, because I think that this would really help kids as they go through adolescence and into college. How do you introduce it to young people?
I love your question because it's my passion to bring meditating practice to younger people. We have so many kids these days who have ADD, have focusing problems, and this would be great. I have 2 grandchildren, and they love what I do with them. I have taught them to meditate. I use the rainbow colors for focusing, and we go through the colors of the rainbow. I would love to get a class together of young people. If somebody wants to help me do that and teach them to meditate. That's one of the things I'm passionate about.
Well, I was gonna just add something as far as like the research on meditation. It's kind of an elephant in the room, but in terms of addressing addiction, like overeating, oversleeping, gambling, pornography, all the aboves, just throw out my personal belief is that at a point where you say, I don't have control, yet you're doing something, that's kind of addictive, right? And there's meditation has shown from research and studies that all the physical is tied to something emotional on your body. So when you meditate, you actually can help handle any of the above addictions. So just throw that.
It helps every aspect of life, and especially addiction too. Yeah. I think most addiction centers teach meditation. And if they don't, they should. Right. Even though I don't like the should word. Thank you.
Great. Thank you very